Good morning. Today I'll see about general architecture of biometric system. In that we have two phases. Biometric system generally have two phases. One is enrollment phase and then second one is recognition phase. So recognition phase, here we have two phases, verification and identification. So every biometrics deals with matching or recognizing process involving some biometric traits usually associated with the use of unique characteristics to identify an individual. So we have two phases, enrollment phase and recognition phase. So under recognition phase we have verification and identification. So this is the general architecture of biometric systems. So enrollment phase has, initially we have give the input, so input to be captured and processed and stored in a database. Then comes to recognition phase. So here also when the input is there, we have to capture that input and process the input, and then we send that processed data to compare unit. From that compare unit we have get the inputs from stored data. Also we have to compare the present and stored data to be verified, or to the concerned person is verified or identified in that comparison box. If that person is identified, means the decision box will give the matter as yes, the decision box will give no if the person is not identified, means. Then enrollment phase. It is a learning phase that aims to collect biometric information about who to identify. The person, the processing related to that enrollment has no time constraint since it is performed offline. During this phase, input is captured through sensor module. Second, feature extracted by certain methods and stored as templates in database. Features stored in the form of digital and transformed into representation scheme. Then we have go for quality check. Then go for recognition phase. So this is the phase that stored templates are used comparison with testing templates. So already we have stored templates, then compared with the testing templates. So this is to be have two parts. One is verification and then is identification mode. So verification mode, which is nothing but comparison of one to one, in which the system validates the identity of a person by comparing the biometric data entered with the biometric templates of that person stored in the system database. So already we have that person's database, so we have to match that person's database with the testing phase. So one-to-one comparison. Then identification mode, it is an one-to-many comparison, so one-to-n comparison, in which the system recognizes an individual by matching it with one of the models in the database. So many data in that comparison, so we have to compare one to each other, so that to be called as identification mode. Then we go for biometric systems performance. So and this biometric performance has comes under three main factors. One is accuracy, speed and size of templates. So accuracy depends on false match and false non-match. So this accuracy increases about two rates to be decreased. Speed depends on time required in image capturing, feature extraction, template representation. Then retrieval time of matching of or testing increases with increased database. So this accuracy have three different levels: false matching rate, false non-matching rate, failed enrollment rate. So what is meant by false matching rate? Imposter or a false person is identified. Probability of matching template is high for an unauthorized person. Then come to false non-matching rate. The correct user is rejected. So once the user is rejected, that to be called as false non-matching rate. Fail to enroll. Fail to enroll in the sense user cannot register in that system. So how many so many times the user to be register in the system. So the system cannot register that particular user, to be called as fail to enroll. Then equal error rate, intersect point of false matching rate and false non-matching rate to be called as equal error rate. Then this is the pattern that comes for identification one-to-many and one-to-one matching. Identify a person from entire enrolled population to be called as one-to-many. Then a particular identity, that person of a biometrics and one or more other security technologies, say for example password, pin and token, to be called as authentication, or one-to-one that called be as verification method. Then comes to basic working of biometric matching. So this is the basic biometric matching working systems. So initially we have sensor, pre-processing, feature extraction, template generator, stored database, then matcher, then application device. So sensor means first block that collects all important data for biometrics. So what are the data to be collected in that sensor? So initially image acquisition, that depends on the feature or characteristics required, that it has to be replaced or not. Then comes under pre-processing. It is the second steps. It's the second block or second step. Function to enhance the input and to eliminate the artifacts from the sensor, background noise, etc. Feature extraction. This is the third and most important and this is the third and most important step in the biometric system. Extraction of feature are to be done in order to identifying them at the later stage. Then template generator. Template generator generates the template that are used for identification or authentication with the help of extracted features. That's template are being stored in the database for comparison. Then matchmaker. In this part, template is given to matcher that compares the stored templates using various algorithms. Then application device. Here the device gives the result what that person to be identified or verified. So we can see that person either identified or verified. We can see that in the application devices. Then move on to applications. So these are the main applications in real times. So ATM, we are using ATM for fingerprints. Then online banking, we are using these biometric systems in online banking. The national identification card, then voter ID card, driving license, personal computers, e-commerce. So many applications here comes under past decade for biometric applications. So real-time applications is robustness. They are growing day by day with the unique features of identification and verification.